When you start coming up with an idea for a visual novel, things are exciting. You think about how the story, art, and music are all just gonna come together, and you can't wait to get started. A few months later, though, that might be a completely different story. You may think you lack motivation. I mean, some devs assume if they can just find enough motivation out there, Mad Max style, finishing their game will become easy. But motivation isn't something you can force, it's just something that's gonna happen when a lot of stuff behind the scenes is going just right. Think of this video as a pre-flight checklist for game developers, a series of things you can check whenever you find yourself avoiding your project. And let's start with one of the weird ones, because it's also the one most game devs ignore and are very proud of ignoring. Are you eating and sleeping well? Seriously, like, personal well-being does wonders to keep you clear-headed and motivated. And most of the time, like, your motivation issues stem from physical ones. So eat a healthy diet, plenty of vegetables, leafy greens for vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Make sure you get plenty of protein, get some carbs and healthy fat in your system, and try not to overeat. If your body doesn't get the fuel it needs, it will not function the way it's supposed to, and your brain will focus more on getting what it needs as opposed to whatever you think is important. Get at least a full 8 hours of sleep a night. If you're sleep deprived, you may have decreased concentration, you may be irritable or emotionally volatile, and you can suffer from fatigue and hunger cravings. If you have trouble with sleep, try to maintain a regular sleep schedule and build good sleep hygiene habits. And you can't just like eat a salad, take a nap, and check this item off your list. Really take the time to make sure that you're maintaining a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. If you have problems with your diet or sleep, see a doctor. If you have any health issues, get them addressed at your next checkup or sooner. And I mean, sleep, diet, good health, this may seem like just simple life advice, but it's really relevant to your productivity. One of the neater things about getting older is I'm recognizing when problems that I have are more related to like physical body issues than with emotional ones. Like, honestly, if I'm overly frustrated, I usually just need like a snack or a nap. That whole like eat a Snickers thing.
别打你的二破拳了，来条 Snickers。
Maybe don't eat a Snickers, but seriously, your body is not great at telling you what it wants. So if you're irritable, depressed, or engage in a lot of self-soothing behaviors and vices, or just unmotivated, before you start going down a self-help rabbit hole to fundamentally improve yourself, take some time to focus on your health and try to remove your physical and mental health as a possible reason you're not as invested in your work as you'd like. Because if you're feeling great, you can focus on how your game fits with your overall life. Checklist item 2. Is your game actually a priority? And by the way, this is not one of those rise and grind videos where I tell you your game has to become your #1 priority. It doesn't. If your game is a priority, if this is your job, if game dev is a discipline you're trying to build skills in, if this is part of your education, or if you have particular goals that your game is a stepping stone towards, then honestly, motivation shouldn't even be a huge factor. You should feel motivated regularly. Keep watching this video to know exactly how, but the fact that this is a priority in your life should checkmark this automatically. But honestly, even if any or all of those things are true, your game is not always going to be a priority. If you got dishes piling up, homework due, bills to pay, or people in your life you've been unintentionally neglecting, don't beat yourself up because you aren't motivated to write, draw, or program. Your brain is busy dealing with things it considers more important. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do for your game is just step away for an evening, take care of what's demanding your attention, and come back with a clear head. And I mean, if things get really bad and you're just busy with other things for a month or two, it's okay too. Your game doesn't have to be a top priority all of the time. Most game projects are marathons, not sprints. And that's not to say your game can't be an escape from a lot of those priorities. For a lot of people, including me, it absolutely can be. But there's a difference between choosing to work on your game because you're excited to, and using it to avoid problems that are only going to be waiting for you afterwards. While you're working on your game, if you're constantly just thinking about all the other things you need to get done, it's worth asking if the problem really is a matter of motivation, or whether your attention is simply needed elsewhere for a bit. But if nothing else needs your attention, and you're still unmotivated, it's time to look at the project itself. Checklist item 3. Do you know exactly what to to do next? And I recognize that question sounds dumb. Yeah, I need to work on my game, you might be saying. No, I mean like specifically, what is the one task you need to work on right now for your game? Because if the answer is like, well, I'll figure it out once I open my game project, figure out what I need to do today, you've already created your first obstacle. A lot of advice on maintaining good habits is really just about forcing yourself to get started. And then once you've done the hard work of getting started, suddenly having to actually do it doesn't seem that bad. Like if you want to work out regularly, but you're just not feeling it, just get to the gym, just drive there, get to the front door. If you're still not feeling it, you don't have to go in. But more often than not, once you're at the door, you'll go, well, I'm already here. And suddenly it doesn't take as much mental fortitude to jump on the treadmill. So for game dev, there are a few different ways to solve this. First, make task lists for everything that needs to get done for your game. I usually break this up based on the milestones that I want to hit. Whatever milestone I'm aiming towards, I'll write up a task list of all the various components of the game I want to build, and then add extra little lists under those that break down everything that needs to get done in that category. Once I do that, I'll usually look through and spot what needs to get done first to get some of these other tasks done. I'll then pull those tasks out into the daily tasks I need to do, and I'll usually throw in what I'd like to get done the next workday too. So basically, I create a bucket of things to do, and then I'll draw from that bucket so I always know what I need to prioritize. But like, you don't need to do all that if you don't want to. If you're at a stage where you're just kind of seeing where the game takes you, you can always just leave yourself a note at the end of any workday you do that covers what you'd like to handle tomorrow. So when you start fresh the next day, you already have instructions from yesterday to get you started. Worst case scenario, if you have no notes, no idea where to get started, just set a timer for 20 minutes and force yourself to work on it. More often than not, like once you get in like 10, 15 minutes into it, all of a sudden, like you'll catch yourself in a little groove and you'll just keep working. But just make sure you leave yourself a note for the next workday so you don't have to do this again. If you can't get through that 20 minutes though, it's worth asking yourself another question. Checklist item 4. Do you enjoy working on your game? Okay, and this sounds like a silly question, but it is an important one. Is it fun for you to work on your game? And it's totally fine if it's not fun right now. There's a fun scale for outdoorsy people to classify the types of fun they're having when hiking, biking, mountain climbing, what have you. There's type 1 fun, which is just fun while you're actually doing it. Then there's type 2 fun, which is miserable while you're experiencing it, but it feels great in retrospect. And then type 3 fun, which is awful when it's happening, you regret doing it, but it makes an interesting story for others and maybe even for yourself, once you emotionally separate it for a bit after a while. So while you're actively enjoying the process of making your game, just enjoy it. If you're not having a great time while making your game, but when you finish some aspect of it, like you feel a sense of accomplishment, great, that's fun too. But if you're having a hard time motivating yourself through those rough parts, you gotta do a little bit of planning. Break your game into regular milestones so you can make sure you have moments of accomplishment all along your journey. It requires a bit more planning, but making sure you have those moments where you can look back on your journey with sense of accomplishment counts for a lot. Then we come to type 3 fun, and these are the moments where you can literally feel motivation just draining from your body until you can't do anything anymore. So, obviously, we don't want this, but there are some ways to spin this into gold. Ever accidentally delete something you were working on and suddenly you lost a day's worth of work? Type 3 fun. Write a tweet about it. Ever work hard on a gameplay mechanic that just wasn't resonating with players and now you gotta rethink your entire game loop? Type 3 fun. Save the build, rework on the mechanic, and hopefully you'll have an interesting post-mortem blog post later on. You ever put months or years of effort into a real stinker of a game and the whole thing flopped or worse, collapsed before you reached the finish line? Type 3 fun, bro. Seriously, these stories kill at game dev conferences. We eat this crap up. So obviously don't aim for type 3 fun, but understand it's a natural consequence of working on something in a chaotic universe. Aim for type 2 fun for your long-term goals, and try to make room for type 1 fun whenever you can. And honestly, as long as you're having enough type 1 or type 2 fun, motivation shouldn't be a problem. The fun will be the motivation. But if you still find your motivation draining even though you're having some kind of fun, maybe the problem isn't you. Checklist item number 5. Is your game already done? Albert Camus wrote, "One must imagine Sisyphus happy." Except he's in hell. Like, that's an important detail. He's forever struggling in hell. And you're watching this from Earth. I have noticed so many game devs get stuck in a perpetual cycle of developing the same game over years and years and years. That's not always bad. Like, it can take years to properly develop a game, but a lot of game devs, they don't want to release it until it has all the bells and whistles, the 8 different endings with new game mode plus, oh, it needs to be the best game ever, right? And if it's not the best game ever, it's time to tinker on it some more, right? Even if you're not enjoying it at all? No, just stop. It sounds like your game's done. Cut features if you need to, make the ending more abrupt, I don't care. It's time to ship or get off the pot. And I understand why you're here. You don't want to release a bad game. Totally fine, totally understandable. Take a break, come back to it with fresh eyes. If you still can't stand it after that, guess what? You're done. The real awful part of it is you may think your game sucks, but also it might not. You're too close to it. Even if your playtesters don't like it, like, playtesters aren't always right. Even if it's a financial failure, it could still be a cult classic. Even if it's a critical failure, now it might not be in the future. Even if you made the modern equivalent of E.T. the game, there may still be some interesting ideas in there that are worth exploring again in the future. So ideally, you will be making games for a long time, whether professionally or as a hobby. And if your game isn't enriching your life in some way, you can feel free to move on to the next one. It's fine. Just make sure you take the lessons learned from this game, not just what didn't work, but also what did work, and bring it into your next project. But this time, you'll be following a structure I created for visual novel devs to get their games done on time and under budget. So check it out in the link here and subscribe for more videos.